Buongiorno everyone, our brand new merchandise is available now. Head over to themagpiechannel.com to get your hats, hoodies and t-shirts. Support the channel, support the tune and enjoy yourself. Yes people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. It's now dark at St James's Park, even though it is only 4:15. The sun's been setting here, we've been doing some nice photo shoots for the brand new magpiechannel.com merch. You can head over there, have a look at it yourself, hoodies, hats, t-shirts, all of that good stuff. Obviously the hats have sold out twice. The black ones, we've got new black and white hats coming in next month. But I think there's about 2 left on the website now. It's probably by the time you see this video, they might all be gone. However, there is still hoodies and there is still t-shirts available. So go ahead, check them out, please. Thank you very much. Now then, Fulham, here, tomorrow, 3 PM, good old-fashioned 3 o'clock kick-off. After that Champions League heartache, we've got to pick ourselves up and we've got to start getting some form going in the Premier League. Well, I say that. I mean, move up the Premier League, really, and get back to where we want to be, which is ultimately top 4. I say pick up form. This would be Newcastle's 7th successive win at St James's Park in the Premier League for the first time in over 20 years, if we did manage to do it. Last time we won 7 games in a row in the league was 2002-2003 season. So Newcastle can do that tomorrow with 3 points, with a win against the Cottagers. Now, it's going to be hard though, because listen, we're coming up against Fulham, Formham, that's what I'm calling them now, Formham. Back-to-back 5-0 wins for Fulham in the Premier League. However, both of those were at home. They beat Nottingham Forest 5-0 and they beat West Ham United 5-0. So 2 massive wins from them. Goals seem to come out of nowhere for Fulham really of late. Do you know what I mean? Their forwards have just bang up for it again. They're rolling back the years. Raúl Jiménez, and it shows how important confidence is in football, in a player, and especially in a striker, to score goals, because Jiménez couldn't hit a barn door for years, bless him, and I'm really pleased that he is back on form, to be honest with you. I really am, because it was obviously a horrible injury that happened to him. He was a great striker for Wolves, and now I'm pleased for him that he's back amongst the goals and he's got that confidence and fitness back. But I just obviously do not want to see that tomorrow. But he's starting to look a bit ruthless again, a bit more like his old self in front of goal. And the way Dubravka's looked in recent weeks, and Eddie Howe said today that he's been carrying illness, he's been ill with the flu and whatnot, and so for several of the other players. So will Dubravka play tomorrow? The rumours were that Karius was going to play against AC Milan. That didn't happen. Dubravka played, conceded a couple. He wasn't really to blame for them goals, to be fair. I think defensively and in midfield were caught out for both of those goals. But I think when you see Nick Pope win goal compared to Dubravka, it's a total opposite, isn't it? Because Pope is a presence, he covers the ground well. Dubravka looked tiny in that net the other night, absolutely tiny. So that's where he goes wrong as well. But Fulham tomorrow, listen, it's one of them games where you look at it, you think that's when you see them fixtures come out, you look at that and be like, that's a win. That needs to be a win, has to be, because we're the better side on paper and everything else. And coming here, like I said, Fulham have back-to-back 5-0 wins. They're in form. They're doing well in the league. However, away from home, they're down there with us as one of the worst away sides in the Premier League. Only 1 win for them on their travels this season, and that was on the opening day against Everton. So they don't do well away from home, just like Newcastle haven't this term. And we're at home and we obviously do very, very well. It just depends on how we pick ourselves up after Wednesday night. Are the players going to be hungover from it? Are they going to be devastated from it? Is there going to be a bit of heartache over it? Or are they going to be the opposite, see it as a positive and give us something to cheer about again and get the ball rolling in the Premier League once more to climb that table? Because the next few fixtures, for the first time in a long time, actually look favourable for the Toon. Fulham at home in the Premier League, Luton away next week, Forest at home on Boxing Day. Those are 3 games, 9 points, can move us up a couple of places easily, depending on what happens with the other teams. And obviously, Man United are at Liverpool on Sunday, so you'd fancy us to go above them if we do win against Fulham. Well, listen, Eddie Howe said it as well. Fulham have got good attackers, even though Willian and that. I'm seeing it's like they're rolling back the years, Jimenez and that. Willian, he must be close to his 40th birthday. He's probably nearly as old as Eddie Howe himself. And he's banging them in. He looks on form. There is injury doubts over him. I'll tell you what, we'll talk about Newcastle. We'll focus on ourselves more. How are we looking injury-wise? Well, there has been some major setbacks. Before we do get into the title of the video, all about Lewis Hall, which was the main talking point I got from this morning's press conference. Big news on that. But in terms of injuries, Joe Willock has had a setback. He's getting injections in his Achilles and he's having trouble. There was loads of talk that Harvey Barnes was on the cusp of coming back. People were saying he was even going to be on the bench for the AC Milan game. Not the case. And Eddie Howe said he won't be back this year. Won't be back this year, and it could be even longer because they didn't get surgery on Barnes, and now it's looking like that might have been the right move to get surgery. So how's he going to fare? You know what I mean? They're still waiting to see how he's sort of developing and getting on, but Barnes isn't close, Willock isn't close. Botman, there's rumours that he might be on the bench tomorrow, so that's a big boost obviously. Anthony Gordon is a doubt. After Gordon felt tightness in his hamstring in the Champions League on Wednesday night, he came off and he is a doubt for tomorrow. We obviously know Trippier is suspended, which I think is a good thing. Honestly, I do. I think that bloke needs a rest. As good as it is to see that he does obviously want to continue playing through what Eddie Howe said was a few knocks and he's fatigue and whatnot, it's good that he can't be selected for this game in my opinion, and he'll miss out through suspension. Dan Burn will come in at left back, Tino at right back is the obvious look at that, because Lewis Hall can't get a game. I've been saying for weeks and weeks now, how come Lewis Hall can't get a chance? Not even off the bench can the 19-year-old get a chance. Well, today Eddie Howe was asked, will he become a Newcastle United player in the summer? And he said, I can't answer that right now. This is the major thing that's came out. He says, I can't answer that. And he said there is obligations to buy if he matches certain criteria and performances and things like that. But he's saying he's not sure if he will be a Newcastle player next summer. Whereas last summer when we signed him, all the talk was, oh, we've signed him on loan with an obligation. We must pay £28 million for him next summer. Whereas now we're obviously looking at that and thinking, I'm not sure if I can do that now. Knocked out the Champions League, lack of FFP, the Tonali thing, we need to spend more in January. He hasn't worked out for it. Eddie Howe was saying he's got bags of potential, but he's not ready yet. Again, he's saying he's not quite the fullback that they want him to be. He was saying there is kind of question marks over his defensive capabilities. So, because he obviously played a lot of midfield for Chelsea, he is versatile. But at fullback, Eddie Howe says they are working on him to become better defensively. So that's a big statement to make, and that's a big marker to be like, well, I don't really trust him to defend. I don't really trust him to be our left back, which is shocking, really, when you're putting up nearly 30 million for him. You thought he was going to be made a permanent signing. Now the club are having second thoughts. So looks like whatever Eddie Howe's seen on the training ground and what else, he just doesn't think he's ready and he can't come in and make an impact. And that had to be the case. It had to, because all of our injuries, this crisis, when Target was out, Bain was out, everything else, no one else to play, and he still can't get a game, and Matt Ritchie's coming on in that. Like, you thought there has to be something up there. So it looks like Lewis Hall's future is massively in doubt. Eddie Howe not saying that he will definitely be a Newcastle United player next season. We might just ship him back to Chelsea. Now, I rate Lewis Hall. I think I've seen very good things of him in the past for Chelsea, for England, at a youth level, and for Newcastle at Old Trafford when I was in the Carabao Cup. Scored a great goal, did very well. But then again, games at here against Man City and stuff in the Cup, he looked lost, and he has been taken off 3 times at half time. He's been taken off the pitch at half time 3 times, so that's not a good sign at all. Maybe he's just not suiting our system. Eddie Howe can't trust him. So wait and see how that goes on. He's not ruling it out. Listen, he may kick on in training in the next few months, and they may think, oh yeah, there is a player there, 28 million, a bit like Livramento, could be a steal. Because you remember Livramento's amazing, but even he's a few years older than Lewis Hall. So we've got that there, where Lewis Hall's future is in doubt. But like I said, plenty of injuries there, as always, major setbacks, as always. It's never easy. Hopefully, obviously, Wilson and Longstaff don't play again tomorrow, but Bain can be there as well. If you're at the game, I'll be at Pumphrey's pre-match, the pre-match chat at Pumphrey's Bar on the Big Market as usual. And I'll be at the game and then doing the match reaction at full time. For me, I think I don't want to put a must-win on it this early on the season. Listen, we're still in December, but I think when the fixtures are coming up, after being knocked out of Europe, we've got to get back to winning ways. And Fulham at home is a game, like I said, you look at that and you think 3 points, even though they are in form. We're knackered, we're battered. And we've got Chelsea on Tuesday next week, Carabao Cup, can't wait for that. Although, again, nervous, but which one do you take more seriously? Because, I don't know what that shoulder shuffle was there. Probably trying to keep warm. Got my gloves in my pocket, haven't even put them on. What a twat. Waste time now, no point. Finishing the video. So, Carabao Cup or Premier League. For me, I would... There's no one to rest, really. There's no one to change that much. But Carabao Cup next week, the team that's came in the Carabao Cup, you're done with your crafts and that, obviously done unreal. So, bring it on. And one win away from a semi-final again, which would be amazing and really kind of soften that blow of the the Champions League exit this week. But for me, I'm going to go Newcastle 2, Fulham 1, my score prediction tomorrow. But Fulham are banging the goals. We look sloppy at the back since SETBACKS came in, especially, you know, we're conceding loads of goals. Not that's just on him, like I said, Trippier being knackered, Lascelles looks tired, Shaw, they all look shattered at the back. Even Dan Burn came on, he was knackered straight away the other night, so that was great for their goal. Never mind. Onwards and upwards now. Look to the future. Fulham at home tomorrow. Let's get the win. 7 in a row. Best home record for 20 years. So that'll be class. Drop your comments below, people. Let me know what you think the score will be. Remember, head over to themagpiechannel.com for your merchandise if you fancy it. Have a look on there. Quality stuff. And it's affordable. Lovely stuff, I'm telling you now. Cheers for the sport, people, and enjoy yourself.